Two people at the center of this now viral video showing a man chasing people around this convenience store in Jacksonville with an alligator. Well, they are now facing charges. Florida Fish and Wildlife officials say they've gathered enough evidence to charge Robbie Stratton and Kevin Keene with illegal possession of an alligator, illegal exhibition of wildlife, and cruelty to animals. FWC is still working to identify others who may have been involved in this incident, and they're encouraging anyone who has information to call their hotline. You see the number there at the bottom of your screen.